This movie is a wild ride. It feels almost, just coming as a comic book nerd, the pacing of it feels almost like you're reading issues, and it feels like there's some pretty cool chapter breaks. I know you have mentioned before that you learned a lot about Arthur as you did the filming. Was there a turning point moment for you where you felt you wanted to take Arthur in a certain direction that you maybe had planned on when you had first started?
I think there are several, but I it's so long ago that I'm having a hard time kind of remembering. I don't want to repeat myself and bore you, but I think a really transformative moment was after the subway and when he's in the bathroom, and that was something that we really hadn't anticipated, and we talked about that scene all through rehearsal, and I really kind of struggled to kind of find something that I felt really made sense to kind of illustrate the transformation from Arthur to Joker. And so there were things like that every day, up until literally the last scene that I shot, we did multiple versions of it. And it just was the nature of the character. And I think when Todd and I became comfortable with that, I think that's when something started to really emerge. So it was a really unexpected and strange and unique process for me, but it was enjoyable.
You've told the story about how the laugh came to be, but was there ever a point where you feel you nailed it? And how much of that laugh would you say is partially your laugh versus the laugh that you had created for Arthur?
I don't know that there was ever a point. I think from take to take, there were times where it felt genuine and good, and other times where it didn't. There were some takes where I would stop halfway through because it's not working, and Todd would say it was actually working fine. I don't know how much is my laugh. It was based on videos that I saw of people that have these laughing fits that are uncontrollable, and that really was my model.
The final, they sort of calling him the final version of Arthur, right? During the whole talk show. If you got to spend more time with that version of Arthur, where do you think that character could go, or the potential for his further growth? Like, is that something that you guys had talked about, or is it ended sort of where it ended?
We'll just have to wait and see.
Fair enough. Last question I got to ask is the music in this film. I feel like it's a character sort of in and of itself. Todd had mentioned that you guys had played a lot of the score on set. What was that like for you? Is that something that you had necessarily done before, and how important was it for you to sort of have that?
Yeah, I think a lot of filmmakers have used music on set that I've worked with, and it can be a really effective tool, and I certainly use it myself. But for this film, it was absolutely instrumental. And again, the kind of dancing in the bathroom scene was the first time that I heard the score. And it had a huge noticeable influence on the way that we ultimately discovered the movement for that scene. So it was absolutely integral to the character.
Final question for you, just because we are Comicbook.com. If Arthur were to meet up with a aged up Bruce in this movie, could he have taken him, or would it have to be someone Arthur inspired to take on Batman?
I don't know.